I swear this wasn't here before.
No, it wasn't. Did you hear that? There's something chasing us.
Just tell our families we love them.
Come here, let me take a picture.
Guys, she's coming. She's gonna take a picture.
Can we just please show them the hyraxes? Because
The
they're
hyrax.
absolutely adorable.
And they're chowing on that bush. After our awesome penguin adventure from last time, we decided to make a quick stop to grab a few snacks and a foamy cup of coffee.
Oh, satisfying.
And also some water on the way to our next excursion to Kirstenbosch Botanical Gardens.
Our channel on this freezing cold winter's day.
Jeez, freezing, yes, freezing, it's very cold. I'm Jay.
I'm Nikki.
And today we are exploring Kirstenbosch Botanical Gardens in Cape Town.
We were thinking of going hiking, but
Yeah.
we were looking at the weather and it's not going to happen today.
No.
So we'll have to come back again for the hike.
For hike, yeah. So there's a hike we would like to do called Skeleton Gorge, or the gorge's name is Skeleton Gorge, and the trailhead is here in Kirstenbosch. Now there's a couple of ways to get to this gorge, but I think this is probably the best way to start off, because as you can come into the main entrance,
It's the more scenic route of coming in.
yeah, most definitely. Otherwise you're going to park somewhere along the road, and then you have to walk through bush and a neighborhood and things to get to the trailhead. But this, I think, your best starting point from Kirstenbosch is the best way to go. Apparently, do you know how long it is?
I'm not sure. We walked this trail once before and
We didn't really finish it though.
yeah, we sort of got halfway up there and then we turned around again. But I think it was about 4 hours, 3 or 4 hours. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think it depends on the people, you know, that you have with you. If you have someone that's not as fit, yeah, you're going to end up being a little bit slower. But if you are quite energetic, you know, then you could
You pop a Red Bull.
or a six-pack of those. then you might as well go there. And I think you will probably do it a little bit quicker. Now, last time around we had quite a nice trek out there. It was a nice and sunny day, and we had a lot of people on this trail as well. There's a
Very, very popular trail.
It's very popular, especially with tourists and things, you know. But our attempt that we have not ever done before is you walk up Skeleton Gorge and then you come up sort of on the backside of Table Mountain, and you end up going down with a cable car, you know, towards the city bowl. That's going to be quite cool, because we've never done that. We've been up the cable car once or twice.
I haven't been on the cable
You haven't?
car. No. I haven't been
No
on the cable
way.
car yet. No.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious. I haven't been. I'm a local Cape Townian, and I haven't been on the cable car yet.
Well, then obviously this is something we just have to do. But unfortunately, if it's cloudy and the rain is
Like it
out
is now.
and the wind is out, chances are that the cable car could be closed, you know, due to bad weather conditions. So it's just something just to keep in the back of your mind. Imagine you going all the way up the mountain, and then you think, oh well, I'm not going to have to hike down because you're going to
my
take the
legs are
cable
not
car.
going to make it, and then
And then you end up getting right on top there and the cable car's closed. So I'm not too sure of that factor, but I can only assume that with high winds and that they will close it, and if the weather is too bad.
I don't know if it's available to check maybe on the website.
Yes, I think we will just have a look and we will just put the link down below.
Yeah.
And if you've been up Table Mountain before, drop a comment. Let us know your experiences.
Yeah,
When did you go?
let us know, because we haven't been to the restaurant up there as well. So maybe we'll check that out when we hike up there. We'll see. But if you've been to the restaurant, you've been up the cable car, and you've enjoyed the view, let us know what you think.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's something obviously that a lot of tourists goes up Table Mountain.
It's the thing to do. I mean,
It's-
they have these tour buses, the topless tours, that they also drive people up there to go up the cable car.
Not topless like you take
No,
off your
no,
top and go up the cable. Yeah. No, it's a double-decker bus, and the double-decker bus, the top story doesn't have a roof, so
Yeah.
you've got open air access to
Fresh
them.
air.
Fresh air. And we saw a bus on the way here with a bunch of tourists on there, and I said to her, "There's no way that I'm going to sit in that open-top bus in this cold
weather."
No. It's just
freezing.
It's crazy.
I mean, it's freezing for us. It's probably not going to be freezing for people overseas, because I mean they're used to the colder weather. But for
Yeah,
us, this
yeah.
is freezing.
This is very cold.
So-
This is sort of the start of winter coming along now as well, and we are hoping for snow. There's a couple of places down in the Western Cape we can travel to actually get snow. People from the United States, I would assume, in Canada and Germany and Switzerland, they are so used to the snow, but for us it's absolutely
It's
a treat.
something, yeah, it's something really, really extraordinary if it happens. And I think actually we've had snowfall before on Table Mountain itself, but that only happens like once in every 40 years or something, so it's
Yeah.
really, really rare.
But it was just a light dusting of that. I think
Yeah.
this is what, about 2 years ago or something like
I
that.
think, yeah, it was quite recently that it happened, yeah.
Can't remember, but yes, so yeah, follow along and we'll see what this icy cold Kirstenbosch Gardens has to offer. There's a few hidden away treasures as far as I recall. There's also a place called the Boomslang. In English, the boomslang is actually the name of a snake.
Yeah, it
It's a
translates
translation.
to tree snake.
The tree snake.
But yeah, it's pronounced boomslang in Afrikaans.
And in English, everyone pretty much just calls it a boomslang.
Which sounds pretty cool.
But yes, so yeah, that's the plan for today. Let's go up the boomslang.
The boomslang.
Boomslang. Yeah, I've never been up that walkway. We've been to Kirstenbosch Gardens a few times, but they recently, if I say recently, maybe 2-3 years ago, I
No,
think.
I think a little bit more. I
Was
think
it
it's
longer?
about 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah.
Is it? Well, yeah, so they built this walkway. Apparently it's got great views. I wouldn't know, I've never been up there, neither as Nikki. And so that is the plan. We're going to find it and then we're going to walk up it and see if we can see our house from there.
That might be a stretch, but we'll see.
You will see.
It's a bit high up. Don't look down.
Oh, by the way, did you know that there,
This might just take a while. Spread out.
I think you showed me a very long time ago the orb weaver spiders, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah, that was quite a while ago.
I didn't
think.
even know. So if you've got anarachnophobia, good luck. Good luck. It's one of those things where you walk through this forest and the botanical gardens, and you might end up with a spider web in your face.
But it's huge. I mean,
Yeah, it's massive.
the orb weavers. We'll see if we can maybe find a picture to show you guys. But it's huge. The spider is about this big with legs.
And that's the female.
That's the female.
And the male is this tiny little thing.
Tiny little thing. But the web itself, it's about as big as us pretty much. So if you walk in between the trees, not really on the hiking trails, but if you walk between the trees, you just might get a face full of
Spider webs.
web.
It's like a horror movie. Hey, my dear, would you like a glass of... and you suddenly choke on a spider.
word of the day, Afrikaans word for the day, tarantal.
If you're from another country other than South Africa, in the comments below, put down what you call these birds.
Yeah, I've heard some Americans call them turkeys as well. So
Turkeys?
yeah, turkeys. So I don't know if they may be a long distant cousin of the American turkey. I'm not sure. But I can kind of see it.
I can see how someone can get confused.
They look like dinosaur birds.
Do guinea fowl get winter feathers?
Puffed up with the winter feathers.
A little bit more plumage in the winter.
Maximum plumage.
Come to Kirstenbosch, they said.
It'll be fun, they said.
And now we don't have any knees left.
Dying on the steps.
Yeah. We tend to find the most difficult route to explore any area. I don't know how we manage that. Earlier we said that it's cold.
It's not anymore.
And why? It's because these
10,000 steps.
the 10,000 steps to the boomslang. We will eventually get there. So first we go up, we find the tree canopy walkway sign, or the little board for it, and now we can't find it anymore. I think we are sort of lost. Look at
Lost. Help! We need a map.
Yeah, they do give maps out at the gate when you come in, but dumb us, we didn't take one. We will find it.
We found it.
We found it?
Yes. Enchanted forest and the tree canopy.
The tree canopy, you say? This is quite cool. It looks like a snake.
Yeah, it does with the curves and the what do you call it? The scale? Not scales.
Yeah, scales.
Yeah, snake skin.
Snake skin.
Yeah.
No, not the fish scales.
No.
Ah, here we go. The
yes,
spinning a golden web. We just found the orb weaver
Plock.
Plock.
Info plock.
Info plock.
Yeah.
So these are the spiders we were talking about earlier on. And these are the ones that you think, I'm thirsty, I'm going to get a big gulp of water, and you think it's water, and then it might be a spider. Yeah.
Not really. But yeah, they're very creepy, but very cool.
Kind of high.
It's a bit high up.
Oh, they planted this just especially for you to catch you.
Just be aware this whole thing moves. So it feels quite a bit disconcerting. Don't look down.
If you have a fear of heights, at
This
least
might be questionable.
they have decent railings and things here, so you can you can hold on to the railings.
It's moving.
But if you wiggle about, then you can feel the whole structure moving around a bit. I don't know if, obviously this is all steel, and I hope it's designed very well with a sturdy base.
It should be, but yeah, feels a bit questionable. Okay, so the age-old question, why is Table Mountain flat? Interestingly enough, in the ancient landscape, Table Mountain was the valley between two mountain peaks. So if you can imagine Table Mountain and then Devil's Peak on the one side, Lion's Head on the other side. Devil's Peak is the clue. So Devil's Peak was part of a huge mountain range that eventually eroded and sloped down into Table Mountain that was flat.
Well, you are just a bucket of knowledge today.
I know!
And that geography lesson was brought to you by Nikki.
The tall glass of brains.
Interesting, I didn't know that. We're just talking about the movement on the bridge, and I said that there's a couple of rails you can hold on to if you are if you get motion sick quite easily.
I was getting motion sick a bit. It moves quite a bit in this wind.
But yeah, don't worry. It's a curved steel bridge. It's engineered to move and to carry a large capacity of people. You know, obviously there's very little people here at the moment, and it was just me and Nikki, and there was a few other people also meandering about on the bridge. But I mean, during the height of summer, and if there's a lot of tourists and a lot of people here, then they would all eventually end up congregating on this bridge. By the way, you don't pay anything to get onto this bridge. It's included in the gate price.
Totally free!
Yeah! So yeah, so it's engineered to move, and it's actually very stable in the sense where, since it's a curved bridge, obviously, it's not just going to tip over like you would think a brick wall, a straight brick wall. And it's engineered in very sophisticated software. Why are words so hard?
Words are hard.
Sophisticated software was used when they designed this bridge, so yeah, you're very safe on it. Even though it moves, it's designed to move. It's designed to move.
What do you call it? Snake skin.
The snake, yeah, the snake skin.
It mimics the snake skin. So
it mimics the snake skin. Cool. And then the ribs, because snakes don't have feet, they walk on their ribs, right?
Well, they don't walk on their ribs.
Yeah, they use their ribs to walk. Not like crutches, they don't go, yeah, we're going to go to the shop, and then they just pull out a few ribs and let's go squeaky, squeaky, squeaky down the road.
After seeing a few crazy people running through the bush, we discovered this old grave of Professor Pearson, who founded the Botanical Gardens in 1913 and was also the director. This area was previously a neglected, overgrown farm with hordes of pigs running all over the show. The majority of the work started by clearing the land of alien vegetation and building the pathways. One of the first things restored was Colonel Bird's Bath, which is fed by a natural freshwater spring that dates back to 1811. And look how cute it was done, shaped to look like a small bird. The rock work along the Bath stream and stonework was also completed.
It took about 15 years for most of the main features in the gardens to be completed, like the cycad amphitheatre where hundreds of cycads were planted. So the cycads are really interesting because they're pretty much living fossils, and there's about 340 species alive today. They've been around since the Jurassic era, about 150 to 200 million years ago. So that's why you'll find these awesome dino sculptures to represent what the area could have looked like millions of years ago. Unfortunately, the cycads are rare and endangered, and more than 60% are threatened by extinction, since they are targeted by scaly collectors and thieves.
So this is really interesting. There are some stinging nettle plants here. These have like little polka dots on them. They don't usually have them, but they're quite pretty. Highly recommended to not touch them because they do have little nettles like barbs on them. And they, as soon as you touch them, they pierce your skin and they cause like an itching and painful sensation. So not recommended to touch them. But apparently they make really good tea, so with lots of health benefits. I'm not sure how true that is, but apparently it's very...
Yeah, I've also heard something like that. The only big question I have is if you're not allowed to touch it and it makes you itch and it stings, what happens when you drink it?
Maybe, I don't know, maybe if you boil the water it softens the little bristles or something. I don't know, maybe you have to filter it.
Not the faintest
I
idea.
have no clue.
You find them all over the show in these wooded areas and
Yeah.
things like that. Even in normal gardens at your house, it's considered a weed by most. But I mean, you need to know what it looks like. We don't really get poison ivy in our area.
Yeah, or poison oak or anything
something
like that. So our equivalent is nettles, the stinging nettles.
The stinging nettles, yeah. But yeah, Interesting.
Yeah.
Hey.
Another tall glass of brains and knowledge.
Hey.
So here you can see the stone cobble walkways that forms part of the Heritage Trail, which is the original trail built in 1913 and was initially surrounded by oak trees. Unfortunately, the majority had to be removed because the thick blanket of fallen leaves prevented anything from growing. Also along this route are many centenarian trees, so if you visit the gardens, keep an eye out for them. Many of them do have plaques to indicate which ones are the oldest. There are also some of the first trees that were planted when the garden was founded.
While getting the last bit of footage, it started raining, so we had to pack up our gear. We relaxed at one of the restaurants with a hot coffee and a muffin. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you in part 2 of this adventure. I still don't know if we're going to make it. We might get stuck on the mountain. Wow. 25 minutes to get to the cable car. So we need to move. Come, let's go. We are racing for time now. Maybe that's going to be our very first helicopter ride. This is insane.
Wow.